I'll say that I have a hard time finding a better friend than the member who just spoke. We've been good friends for a long period of time, and we have not been apart on very many votes. And yet he's, well, we're not of the same party. But nonetheless, we're going to have to do something that is the same thing we had to do 5 years ago, and really for kind of the same reason. Every year when the Senate turns to the NDAA, we call it our must-pass bill, and it is a must-pass bill, and it's a bill that will pass. It's must-pass because it gives our troops our pay that they've earned, the tools, and the training that they need to fight and win against our enemies, and that's why we've passed the NDAA every year for 60 straight years. This year will be 61. This is pretty much the only authorization bill that gets done the way it should, year after year. In fact, it's pretty much the only bill, period, that Congress does every single year without fail. However, no matter how important it is, that doesn't mean that we'll accept the fact that Senator Schumer wants to jam it through the Senate without adequate consideration. And let me be clear, Senator Schumer has put us in this position today. He waited more than 2 months after we filed the NDAA to bring it to the floor. 2 months. We could have been discussing this and having it and treating it like we should. He tried to tack it on his unrelated legislation, just as many of us, including my Democrat colleague in the House, Adam Smith, guessed that he would. And now he wants a floor vote on this bill. The most important bill that we do all year, to be enough, despite the fact that he isn't giving us ample time to debate the bill, and he certainly hasn't been willing to entertain an open amendment process. We've been trying to get this for a long period of time, and we haven't gotten it. The most important bill of the year. And I think Americans back home are smart enough to understand that our service members deserve more. They deserve to be our priority in the Senate, and we need to show them that by providing a robust and open debate on the annual defense bill, that's how we would do it. We're in place right now because Senator Schumer won't prioritize national defense and fund our troops, because the majority leader mismanaged the Senate schedule. He won't allow votes on bipartisan amendments that make our country more secure. We heard that argument just the last time we were in session. These include an amendment that would inflict sanctions against Russians to stop its power grab over European energy supplies, which simply builds our previous bipartisan NDAAs and aligns with the House version of the NDAA. Another amendment that Senator Schumer would not give a vote would tighten import restrictions on China to ensure goods sold in the United States aren't made by Uyghur forced labor. This already passed the Senate by voice vote. Good amendments like these shouldn't fall victim to the majority leader's failed leadership. We all understood how important this bill is. It shouldn't be a partisan thing. This is the most important bill we do every year. In fact, we've said this every year. In fact, I've said this more times than any other member has stated it. Even more important now, because we're in the most threatened position of our lifetimes. I can't tell you how many times I've demonstrated that fact on the floor of the Senate. I echo the minority leader's frustration. I understand the frustration from my colleagues who wanted real time to debate this bill. I think they pled their case very effectively. We wouldn't be in this position if the majority leader had brought this bill up earlier, which we kept insisting that he do over and over again on a bipartisan plea. And while I want to be clear that we are in a position because Senator Schumer and he is forcing this unfortunate action, I also want to be equally clear that I'm still very supportive of this bill and hope that we'll pass it soon. But I stand with my colleagues who are voting against the majority leader's irresponsible management of the bills. We've got to get it done. We can't rush it. And that is why I will be voting no on cloture. That's not an easy thing for me to do, but I believe we can get this bill in better shape. My vote against the process is not against the bill, it's against the process. We're not delaying national security. No, this is just the opposite. We are demanding that we show through open and robust debate that our men and women in uniform are our priority. And I've heard this from many of our people that I've talked to over the weekend, over this past week, that are really wondering why we didn't have this on the table earlier so we could get the debate. I hope that a lot of the American people heard the 6 different Republicans who were demanding to have their votes, an amendment process. This is the first time in my memory that we have not had this kind of a process take place. And for that reason, I will be voting no. And I do want to hear, of course, and let me say something, because this might be an area of disagreement between my partner and myself, Senator Reid. We've worked these bills together for a long period of time. We've been successful, and we're going to be successful this time. I yield the floor.